Alright, so in this first chapter, what we're going to do is go over two pieces of concept art done by Cecil Kim. For those of you who don't know Cecil, he's the lead concept artist at Sony Santa Monica Studios, and over the years has created a ton of breathtaking concept pieces for the God of War series. In my role as lead environment artist at Sony Santa Monica, I've had the opportunity to work with Cecil very closely. Time and time again, I'm blown away by what Cecil's able to come up with, and you can really credit a lot of the visual look of our game to Cecil's vision. And what I want to show you in this DVD is the process where I take concept paintings that Cecil's done for me and use them to create a game environment. And in the process, I hope to show you a lot of Maya's modeling tools and functionality, and in general, just show you how I like to work. So with that being said, let's go ahead and dig into this piece of concept a little bit. The first thing I like to do when I get a new piece is to kind of go through and highlight things that stand out. For example, this little light here, also this row of containers. These are the kind of things that right now my eye is being drawn towards. You know, this little screen down here. Also this archway in the back. You know, I'm kind of highlighting things that I feel are the big shapes, the interesting parts, as well as little details. Because since this is for a game, we kind of have a limited number of resources. What I mean by that is we can't build everything that he's drawn here. We just need to find the big shapes and the interesting parts so we can get his idea across. Another thing that's important to note is that this piece here is really just a beauty shot. It doesn't give us a whole lot of detail. For that, we go to more of a black and white elevation sketch. You can see in this piece, there's a lot more detail. In fact, Cecil's highlighted the size of the player in relation to the building. And then with that, I can start planning out some of the heights that I'm going to build some of this stuff. And also call out elements that I think are interesting. And bringing up the original beauty piece, you can see we have some common elements. For example, this light here. We see that in a couple places on the elevation sketch. Also this row of canisters. You'll notice the black and white drawing did a clear job at illustrating what that might be. And then there's some of the big details, like this arch in the back. Your eye's kind of drawn to that as a possible destination. And then looking at the elevation drawing, Cecil did a great job at kind of solidifying what that might be. An important thing to bring up is that even though we have this, black and white detailed drawing, there still is a lot of room for interpretation on my part. And that's what's really challenging and fun about building off a piece of concept. Kind of finding the things you think are interesting, and then taking them and putting your own style to it. And it can get a bit tricky at times to, take a drawing like this and build it out in 3D and keep to kind of the feel that was intended and yet still make it your own. And so what I hope you'll learn in this DVD is how to model a game environment using concept art as a guide. I'll also be going over a fair amount of theory as well, because there's more than one way to do anything. And while I may have my system for building out game models, there are definitely other ways that are equally as valid. So getting back to the concept art here, I've highlighted pieces that I think are interesting. Also, things that I think I can build and reuse. And so this is a good time to take a piece like this and maybe plan out how you're going to build it. What pieces will be tileable and modular, and what sections of this you might want to be your custom showcase pieces. And so now that I've used the concept to come up with a general game plan, the next step is to use Maya to block out our scene.